Today we are going to talk about 5 must-see attractions when visiting or thinking about moving to Detroit. Hello and welcome to this episode of Redefine Real Estate. My name is Matt Talbot. I am your host, and today we are here to talk about 5 must-see attractions when visiting or thinking about moving to Detroit or its suburbs. As a reminder, I am a real estate agent here in Southeast Michigan. We work all throughout Southeast Michigan, Detroit, and the suburbs. I have a team of agents. Our vision is to be the most trusted, giving, and innovative real estate team in Michigan. If you're thinking about moving to the area, we'd love the opportunity to understand your story. We help people from all over the world move to here in Detroit and Southeast Michigan. Detroit sits in Wayne County here in Southeast Michigan, which is the most populous city in Southeast Michigan. A lot of people, when they think of Southeast Michigan, they think Detroit. We have other areas like Ann Arbor and a lot of other great cities as well, but obviously Detroit being the biggest. So when thinking about moving to Detroit, or if you are just considering visiting or you're from the area, here's 5 must-see attractions that I highly recommend. Number 1 on our list is the Detroit Institute of Arts for any of you art lovers. So the DIA goes way back, as we referred to it in Michigan, the Detroit Institute of Arts, the DIA. It has over 100 galleries and I think like 650,000 square feet of museum to check out. So it's a really cool thing to check out in the city. It's an old building. When I visit there, sometimes I go there and actually work out of a coffee shop. It almost feels like Hogwarts. It's a very old building and just really cool to explore. Currently the Van Gogh exhibit is there, which is a big exhibit. I think it's kind of a world-renowned thing, so it's been happening for a while, and it's just really good energy and really good vibes all times of the year. Even in the winter, just going downtown, the parking's not too bad. You can get in and out of the DIA. A totally worthwhile experience, totally worth checking out. Definitely go check out the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Arts. Number 2 on our list is the Detroit Riverfront. I think this gets a little unnoticed for the people that don't live in the city or don't go to the city that often, but the Riverfront has really changed over the last few years, and it's a really awesome experience. It runs about 3.5 miles, really from downtown all the way, eventually it's gonna run all the way to Belle Isle actually. And the riverfront just has a lot of great views. It's very relaxing. There's a walkway. Sometimes there's music and food in the summertime and stuff like that. So it's a total worthwhile experience. A couple features of the riverfront. First and foremost is the GM Center. So the Renaissance Center in Detroit is sort of like the staple of Detroit when you look at the Detroit skyline, and that's General Motors international headquarters. It's been there for a long time. A beautiful building. It's kind of like 3 pillars right there on the riverfront. So totally worth checking out. It's a great vibe to kind of walk through there. There's also a theater if you keep going down the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, used to be known as Shane Park. I actually did a show there this summer. It was such a good experience. It's almost like a giant tent right on the river, so it's just really good vibes, right? You have the river flowing behind the music and the artists that you're seeing. You're outside, you're enjoying the city. It's really good energy, so the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater is totally worth checking out if you see anyone on there that you're interested. So number 2 on our list is the Detroit Riverwalk, a total worth see when visiting Detroit, or if you're thinking about moving to the area, definitely go check it out because it's something to go do on the regular. Number 3 on our list is the Henry Ford Museum. So it's a little bit of a flub here because the Henry Ford Museum is actually in Dearborn, Michigan, which borders Detroit. If you look at any census data or kind of look at the data, they kind of consider the Dearborn, Detroit metro area as a major portion. But so Henry Ford obviously goes way back for Ford Motor Company, which is an absolute staple here in Southeast Michigan. It's where a lot of the industry comes from and stuff like that. And they have a really awesome museum. It's full of all different types of worthwhile things to check out, including a lot of civil rights movement stuff, like the bus that Rosa Parks sat on is featured at the Henry Ford Museum. But they not only have exhibits that sit there for a long time, but they also rotate exhibits. If you grow up in this area and you're from this area, a lot of times your school will send you there for a day to go check out the museum. I think actually in 1st grade we actually spent the night at the Henry Ford Museum, I think in middle school or something like that, or maybe elementary school. So it's a cool place to go check out with the family. Great for the kids, great for good energy and good history, and it gives you something to do for the day. So if you're visiting the city, I would definitely recommend shooting over to Dearborn. It's only like 15 minutes from downtown, and checking out the Henry Ford Museum. Number 4 on our list is the Little Caesars Arena. So the Little Caesars Arena is home to the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons. For those of you who don't know, if you're not from the area, hockey in Detroit is huge, like really huge, like really huge. In fact, it's so big that a lot of people call Detroit Hockey Town. They're home of the Detroit Red Wings, which are part of the original 6, if you're into the NHL at all. So the original 6 teams to play in the NHL, and they're actually the most winning franchise in the NHL of all time. So they have more Stanley Cups than any other organization. Little Caesars Arena was built a few years back, and that's where the Red Wings play, as well as the Detroit Pistons, which also have some really nice history as far as some championships if you go back to the Bad Boys days in the 90s and stuff like that. So not only does Little Caesars Arena host the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons, but they're also sort of an epicenter for the big mega artists that come to town when it comes to comedian and music and stuff like that. So Little Caesars Arena is an awesome, worthwhile experience. It's a new arena. It's totally worth checking out. There's a lot of restaurants and bars that are walkable. You can park right there. Number 5 on our list of places to check out in downtown Detroit is Campus Martius. So Campus Martius actually is off Woodward, right downtown. So you're right by 1001 Woodward. You're right by 1 Woodward, 2 Woodward. So that's where the county building is, the city building is, and they actually built in Campus Martius a nice downtown type area that you can gather. So in the wintertime, you can do ice skating, winter activities. They put a giant Christmas tree up, and in the summer, they kind of revamp it to something different. There's roller skating arena that they put in there. There's a little beach bar that they put in there. And so there's different spots for music and events and food trucks and stuff like that. So Campus Martius has become a gathering place in downtown Detroit, not far from the Riverwalk, which I already mentioned. So totally worthwhile checking out if you're thinking about moving to the area when you're in Detroit. Go check out the city. A lot of people are very focused on the suburbs and where they're going to live, and might not be considering to living in the city, which is fine, but you really should check out the city of Detroit. It has awesome history. It goes way back with a lot of success and now at a big underdog story through the history through the years, but it's a totally worthwhile experience. I think it kind of gets a bad rap a lot of times, so go ahead and check out our 5 list items from today when visiting.